So we are now meeting after quite good number of weeks. I hope you are on the you have studied in this period the annual book of Sri Srila Prabhupada, the Nectar of Devotion, and I hope you are on the same page, not have forgotten anything. Just for the revision, I will just tell you some things what we have discussed. You know, last time we were discussing about the three levels of you know um, Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama. I am bit hesitating in speaking about Kanishta Bhakta, Uttama Bhakta, and Madhyama Bhakta because there's a difference between what we have read and Kanishta Bhakta, Madhyama Bhakta, and Uttama Bhakta. There are two things, Prabhu. There is Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyama Adhikari, Uttama Adhikari, and Kanishta Bhakta, Uttama Bhakta, and or Madhyama Bhakta. These are two different things. But generally, when Srila Prabhupada actually writes, many places and even many acharyas, other acharyas also, in fact, Bhakti Vinod Thakur also. So he combines these two and presents to us. Because one who has a faith and knowledge, accordingly he will be at the level of devotion. But this is also truth that when we say adhikari, means he is eligible for. Na adhikar hai uska. Like somebody may be eligible to have a business of $1 million, but right now he might not be a $1 million business holder. He may be just a few 1 crore or 2 crore rupee million, or two whatever you say, that kind of only. No, he has not. He has eligibility for it, but he might not be at that level. So similarly, one may be an Uttam Adhikari, his faith and knowledge is very high, his Shastri Nipunaha. Very cool. Yes, he may be, Shastra Nipunaha, but in that way, he may be Uttam Adhikari that we have read yesterday, discussed last time. But he may not be Uttama Bhakta, he may be still a Madhyama Bhakta. So, a person may be a Kanishta Adhikari. He surely he may be still a Kanishta. That may happen. He may be or somebody may be or maybe he is a Madhyam Adhikari, but he may be a Kanishta Bhakta. That kind of thing. These things can happen because yeah. These two are different thing. We have discussed last time. The level of faith and a level of devotion are two different things. Level of devotion means level of attachment to Krishna, which I am saying is also the three levels: Kanishta Bhakta, Madhyama Bhakta, and Uttama Bhakta. And the level of faith and knowledge that one has, that is like a prerequisite. That also has three. That is Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyam Adhikari, and Uttam Adhikari. So these are three. So generally, Prabhupada writes in that correlation that once one who has Adhikar, he is only time is separating. We say na. So only is the time is separating, he will become that kind of bhakta also, and he can surely progress ahead. It's not that a Kanishta Adhikari remains a Kanishta forever. No. He can shift to Madhyama to Uttama Adhikari, and same to Kanishta Bhakta to Madhyama Bhakta and Uttama Bhakta. That kind of a thing is there. So this is broadly, I'm saying, spoken word speaking, what we have discussed last time. And also we have discussed, we were discussing mainly from Shuddha Bhakta Chintamani, the book by Shivram Swami Maharaj, that how actually he talks about these things in a very detailed way. Some things that we were also talking about, that how devotees actually, when they as they are growing, uh, in the faith and knowledge. So what does it mean, the faith and the knowledge? The knowledge is over here is about one's relationship, one's sambandha gyan with the Lord. The knowledge over here is not about the something very philosophically something. Uh, it doesn't require that kind of a thing. Uh, it doesn't require that one should be able to like a Sankhya philosopher, he may be able to split the things into matter and to split the things into elements and tell all the matter is just an element, the transformation of it, he may prove it. And a lot of philosophical analysis he might not be able to, but he is convinced of it. He can convince of others about sambandha gyan uh, of the jiva with the Lord. That's the most important thing, that we have been discussed about the Uttam Adhikari or anybody. What is his level of sambandha gyan? When we am saying sambandha gyan, it is very clear that all of us know that we are servant of the Lord, Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. We are meant to serve Him. That is truth. But over here, when we are saying specifically something about faith and knowledge in terms of faith, when we say it will be tested. You know how much one is actually uh, mm, has faith on the Sambandha Gyan, has understood the Sambandha Gyan, has realized the Sambandha Gyan. Today, to what degree he has understood, that is exhibited, that can be shown and it can be seen in his life, how much he is focused in devotional life. Yeah. He is not, and that is what is the new chapter that we have to begin for today, chapter number 4, where the chapter itself talks about, the chapter talks about that how uh, uh, I just figured it out. No, the chapter talks about that how the devotion service actually surpasses all liberations. So now we have understanding that liberation means who is looking for liberation? I don't want liberation. है ना हमको मुक्त नहीं होना है. It's very easy to say, but when we are reading now, when you're going to read the NOD, and now Prabhupada, when he is referring verse after verse, this chapter is nothing but quotation of verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, and he's just quoting, and he's putting all these category, all these things which are great souls, great personalities in Bhagavatam have prayed. Oh, I don't want this, I don't want this, my dear Lord, I just want you. So, who has what much amount of faith will be shown with this, that who is able to say no to those all things, to what degree? And to that degree, we can say he is you know, that he has faith and knowledge in Sambandha Gyan. No, he has a faith in Sambandha Gyan, has a knowledge of Sambandha Gyan, has knowledge of Abhideya, and has faith in it. So that's how we are going to begin the chapter with the first verse which has been spoken, which Prabhupada begins directly over here, but Rup Goswami actually quotes one verse and says, that's a very famous verse, Bhakti Mukti Spriha Yavat Pishachi Hridaya Vartate Tavad Bhakti Sukhast Atra Katham Abhyado Bhavet. So, okay, I'll show you this verse and then we'll have some discussion on this. And then we'll read read Prabhupada's NOD. Yeah, you're able to see, I hope. So yeah, read the bold one, the translation of it.
While the demon-like desire for sense enjoyment or liberation is in one's heart, how can the delight of pure bhakti appear there?
So this is a question we ask because no, because one who has not very clear sambandha gyan, has doesn't faith on, he will surely will be looking for bhukti and mukti. So bhukti is material enjoyment and is also considered to as a pisachi, the demoness. No, bhukti mukti spriha yavat pisachi hridi vartate. So bhukti is compared to pisachi, right now. So because bhakti is compared as a, because bhakti is material enjoyment. Is Pisachi is a demoness, because demoness means she demon, because it covers the desire for bhakti with all other material desires. And mukti is a demoness, demoness also means liberation, is also she demon, because its reference point is oneself. In bhakti, reference point is also oneself. No, surely he wants to enjoy, or like his extended sense gratification. Maybe there. But mukti is specifically about himself. I want to get, liberated. The reference point is me. Me, I have to get freedom. So surely when we say about mukti, on the path of bhakti is also been said that one has to be pinpointed. But pinpointed is not in a selfish way. Is not uh, okay. That is also chalo, is a selfish way, but it is for serving the Lord. The 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 concept in mukti is not about serving the Lord. It's about one own self getting freedom from miseries. Whereas in when we say pinpointed Vyavasaitmika buddhi ekaha kurunandana, actually that is not about oneself. That is about ekaha kurunandana, for serving the Lord, for the pleasure of the Lord. So even though the devotee becomes liberated from samsara because he performs pure devotional service, moksha laghuta krit, moksha becomes laghu. That is characteristic of pure devotional service. But liberation is not their goal. So although the bhakti avoids the liberation, no, that's been said, vyapnoti hridayam yavad bhukti mukti spriha agraha. As so it's been said that, because as long as a strong desire for enjoyment and liberation is spread in the heart, that, a person can't taste bhakti. He can't perform pure devotional service. So this is what has been now been ahead when we'll be reading. This is spoken a lot by Prabhupada and Acharyas. Means Prabhupada is quoting the same Rupa Goswami, the way he is quoting. He says very clearly it can't be, and you can't have much of a devotional service going on, pure devotional service going on with these desires still lingering in the heart, or these desires we want to shape it. It may be lingering, but we should not be ready to shape it. Those desires of bhakti and mukti. So, what is bhakti and mukti? Now will come over here as we'll be reading. He says that also that in the next verse when he is quoting over here, he says over here that see tatra picha visheshena gatiman viman ikchatah bhaktir hita manah pranan prema premna tan kurute janan. However, read one of you, however.
However, the desire for liberation is especially troublesome. True bhakti attracts the heart, mind, and life of a person.
So among bhakti and mukti, specifically this mukti is very much problematic. And why it is problematic has been also been spread. Read this, Rupa Goswami noted.
Rupa Goswami noted in the previous verse that desires for sense enjoyment, bhukti, and desires for liberation, mukti, interfere with one's proclivity to love selflessly as in pure devotion. Here he notes that of the two, mukti is more troublesome than bhukti. He concludes by stating that pure love attracts every aspect of an entity, leaving no room for ulterior desires such as bhukti or mukti. He now begins a series of Shastri quotations spanning shlokas 24 to 54, illustrating that the nature of Uttama Bhakti is wholly freed from such desires.
So now that's what we hear. So here he is saying in this verse, specifically mukti is a big problem. And why is a big problem? It is very self-centered around one's own self. You know, it is too much of a self-centeredness. And means self-centeredness is not so good in bhakti. You know, but I have already told you, Vyavasayatmika buddhi is different, and the self-centeredness is different. You know, we want to be very, very, very specific about serving the Lord and not getting anywhere diverted. But it doesn't mean that we become selfish. What does it mean selfish? No, no preaching is selfishness. Oh, I will not because preaching has a lot of no seva, no management. I can't do it. Why? Oh, I will be, so it is too much for me, or I it's too much troublesome for me, or it is, and or people have different understanding about it. Consider it as a seva and do it for the Lord. That is bhakti. That is vyavasayatmika buddhi. And in that, whatever trouble comes, you know, he remains detached with it. You know, sometimes man comes, sometimes apman comes. He's fine with it because he is ready to serve the Lord wherever he's getting an opportunity given by the by a spiritual master, to serve the Lord. He will embrace it. You know, he will do his best. And in that man comes, Avman comes, he is not so much wavered by it. He is fixed on serving the Lord. Then that another day has been said that, oh, you give it up, go for somewhere else. He'll be ready for that. You don't do this service, you do another service. Okay, service is something. Whatever has been awarded, that I am very clear with it. That is my pinpointed. And in that, whatever ups and downs comes, okay, because my goal is to serve. So that kind of it is called Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. And selfishness means, no. I won't, just for me, just my self-centered means, मेरा कैसे होगा? अरे मेरा कैसे होगा? वो कैसे होगा? जैसे हम गुरु का आदेश पालन करेंगे वैसा होगा, ना when we are following. So self-centeredness is not good. And mukti is about self-centeredness. So that's why it's been said that specifically over here has been said that um, you know that mukti is more dangerous than bhukti also. No. So uh, so over here, is that's why it's been that one should once who is self-centered. See, if you are bhukti, somebody has sense enjoyment, he will hear the glories of the Lord and will be able to give it up. But one who is self-centered, whatever he will hear, he will apply it in himself. He will apply it in a favorable way on himself. He will not think about, because he will always say, see, it's been said, Kirtaniya Sadahari. So I will not do anything, but I'll just do one thing in terms of, reading or hearing, something like that. You know, he's and that kind of a thing Prabhupada has never encouraged. Prabhupada wanted us to be a warrior on the field also, and to be absorbed in Krishna consciousness also. So that kind of a thing which Prabhupada has given us by his own life also, he has shown it. Surely the degree what Prabhupada could have do it is different than what we can do it, but the mood is the same. The focus, the way of thought process should be the same. Else will end up in bhukti or no, mukti part, which is much more dangerous. So now I'll make you read Prabhu NOD, and majority is today's reading about NOD itself, from NOD itself. And Prabhupada opens the chapter with a very challenging point. Read this. How much?
Aditya Tepalwar.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Uh, how much devotee seriously is attached to devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead can be understood from the statement of Maharaj Prithu Adiraj, which is described in Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 20th chapter, verse 24.
Oh, wait. I'll show this. I'll just show this verse to you. Fourth
Yes,
canto, 20th chapter, verse 24. So there's some slokas I'm going to show to you, not all.
mhm.
Uh, oh, what happened? Majorities are reading today. They're able to see the shloka or no?
Mm, Not yet.
No.
Mhm. Yeah, I feel now. Yes.
Yes, sir.
You can recite with me together. Na kamayena tatada api. Na kamayena tatada na yatra yushmana bhuja.
युष्मां चरणार्बुजाश्वः
Mahatmana
मानो
mahatmana hridayam mukhachuto vidhat.
Vidyasvakarna Yutame Samevartha.
Read.
Translation. My dear Lord, I therefore do not wish to have the benediction of merging into your existence, a benediction in which there is no existence of the nectarian beverage of your lotus feet. I want the benediction of at least 1 million years, for thus I may be able to hear about the glories of your lotus feet from the mouths of your pure devotees.
So here has been said that one who until one who has not eagerness for hearing. And when we say hearing, also please understand whenever we are going to talk about hearing today or whenever, this means other processes also here, Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, all those, is there included into that, included into that. So one, geez, I want benediction to let one who has not taste for hearing. And the name, the holy name, while chanting or while doing kirtan, or hearing the fame of the Lord. You know, he can't give up this desire for merging. We may say we not want to merge. It's very easy to say, but actually not to. No, now ahead verses will tell about what does mean merging or merging also means शांति चाहिए अपने जीवन में सुख चाहिए. And people have different understanding of sukh in this world, which is bereft of Krishna consciousness. So all those has to be given up, and one who can give it up, one who has developed such eagerness, to hear about the Lord. And then the next verse he quotes over here, Sa uttama shloka mahan mukhachuto bhavat padambhoja sudha kanaliha smritam punar vismritam tattva vartamanam kuyoginam no vitarati alam varehe. Read this also.
Yes. Translation. My dear Lord, you are glorified by the selected verses uttered by great personalities. Such glorification of your lotus feet is just like saffron particles. When the transcendental vibration from the mouth of great devotees carries the aroma of saffron dust of your lotus feet, the forgetful living entity gradually remembers its eternal relationship with you. Devotees thus gradually come to the right conclusion about the value of life. My dear Lord, I therefore do not need any other benediction but the opportunity to hear from the mouth of your pure devotee.
Yeah, see what has been said. That Mahan Mukhochuto means, you have to hear from Mahat and Mahat, because from them, their mouth comes the saffron particle. Saffron is considered to be, something very, very great in these contexts. Like we have that, what we say, kesar. Kesar is also saffron particles, right? No? Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, they are also saffron particles. So, and you know what is the cost of kesar. So, similarly, like that kind of a words comes out of the lotus mouth of the great souls, which is called as glorification of the Lord. And it's a pure glorification of the Lord. And what happens when somebody hears that glorification of the Lord from the great souls? The forgetful divinity gradually remembers his relationship with you when Sambandha Gyan is restated. And, and that's the meaning of getting, hearing. Some people say, we are hearing so much, but what has happened? Oh, sir, you have heard, but you have not heard properly. That's the meaning. Because even a boy, baby who is born ignorant, he doesn't knows anything. He doesn't knows even words to speak. He goes in a school and starts reading A, B, C, D. And within 2 years, he starts making sentences and words and sentences. Uh, this means he has grasped it right now. How is it that, but if suppose a student, A baby is going in a play school, is learning ABC, is going in a lower KG, is learning all those 1, 2, 3, but is not able to grow ahead, is not able to make words and sentences. What do you will tell him? Does he has learned? He has not learned. Everybody will tell you it's a duffer. Similarly, if we have heard properly, it's impossible. It's impossible that that kind of mananam and nididhyasanam and all those things will not happen. Smaranam will not happen. You have not heard properly. No, somebody will say how to hear properly. Oh, that is a different subject matter. You can hear Radheshan Pro's class on that. You know, there are many. Proji has given special classes on that. So, how to hear properly. But this is natural. You know, that one's relationship with you will restart. You know, it may be that lot of ignorance is there within our heart. We have to hear more, but with quality. So, and then he says, devotee. And once the Sambandha Gyan is established, what does it mean? The devotee does, this is a very beautiful line. Devotee does gradually come to the right conclusion about the values of life. He knows now what is valuable in life, what is not so valuable. And the service is valuable, and not the type of service may be valuable. What is awarded to me by the Guru Parampara as a service to the Krishna, to service to the Krishna, to the Guru Parampara and to the Lord, that is valuable. Man and apaman, whatever comes in that is not valuable. So devotee thus gradually comes to the right conclusion about the value of life. My dear Lord, I therefore do not need any other benediction, but the opportunity to hear in the mouth of your pure devotee. So that's kind of a, has been stated over here. Now we'll read NOD back again. Read now the impersonalist desire. Somebody can read. Yes.
Should I go ahead or
Yeah.
Shantanu?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. The impersonalist desire to merge into the existence of the Supreme, but without keeping their individuality, they have no chance of hearing and chanting the glories of the Supreme Lord. Because they have no idea of the transcendental form of the Supreme Lord, there is no chance of their chanting and hearing of his transcendental activities. In other words, unless one is already beyond liberation, one cannot relish the transcendental glories of the Lord. Nor can one understand the transcendental form of the Lord.
So until one is not liberated. Liberated means liberated from these desires. Sure, relishing transcendental glories will be very tough. So now we may say, but relish only awards us, awards us freedom from this liberation. And you are saying that unless we are not liberated, we'll not be able to relish the transcendental glories. How is it so? It's a paradox. No, it's not a paradox. It goes hand in hand. So in hand means as we will grow, as we are endeavoring, to relish, to actually hear more, chant more, serve more. And service is based on hearing. Service is not bereft of hearing. So because the hearing translates into service. One who has heard properly will serve properly. Prabhupada heard his spiritual master properly. Right? He served his spiritual master very properly and spoke the glories of the Lord very properly. So it's natural. So it goes hand in hand as we grow, in our eagerness for hearing properly, the quality hearing, our relish also increases. We become liberated also. That's how it goes hand in hand. So Prabhupada over here is saying impersonalist desire to merge into existence. They can't, what they will hear. Because they don't want to maintain their individuality to serve the Lord. Then what they have no idea about the transcendental form of the Lord, then what they will hear and chant. So Prabhupada, is actually talking about that impersonalism though is a very bad way. There's straight against devotional, like pure devotional service. So now they have a series of quotations flow. Now keep on reading. I'll just in between stop you and make you understand. Yeah, a similar statement.
Only highlighted one, Prabhuji, or
Highlighted is special one. You have to read the entire.
okay. Yeah. A similar statement is found in Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 14th chapter, verse 44. Shukdev Goswami addresses Parikshit Maharaj there and says, the great soul King Bharat was so much attached to the service of the lotus feet of Krishna that he very easily gave up his lordship over the earthly planet and his affection for his children, society, family, royal opulence, and beautiful wife. He was so very lucky that the goddess of fortune was pleased to offer him all kinds of material concessions, but he never accepted any of these material opulences. Shukdev Goswami praises this behavior of King Bharata very highly. He says, any person whose heart is attracted by the transcendental qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Madhusudana, does not care even for the liberation which is aspired to by many great sages. What to speak of material opulences?
Yeah. So here Bharat Maharaj rejected all the material opulences, which was there. Even Maharaj said Lakshmi was ready to give him material concessions, but he said no. So what to say about liberation? And he does not care about the liberation. So what to say about these things, opulences? So one of the definitions what we are talking about, having faith and knowledge, and then sambandha is this, that he doesn't look for any of these things. And there are many such shlokas which Prabhupada is quoting. Now he quotes about 6th canto, 11th chapter. What I'll do, I'll just show you now shlokas, and that will be interesting for you. And that's how 11th chapter, 6, 11, 25. So let us, that will be interesting for you. So I'll now just show you, stop sharing, and then I'll show you with all this. There's a very famous verse. You can recite together with me. Nanaka Prishna, Nachapara Mesh, Nasarva Bhaumam, Nasatyam, Na Yoga Siddhir Apunarbhavam Va Samanjasa Tva Virahaya Kankshe. Vitrasur is saying, his prayers he is offering. Read.
Translation. For my Lord, sources of source of all opportunities, I do not desire to enjoy in Loka, the heavenly planets, or the planet where Lord Brahma resides. Nor do I want to be the supreme ruler of all earthly planets or the lower planetary systems. I do not desire to be master of the powers of mystic yoga, nor do I want liberation if I have to give up your look.
Yeah. So can somebody say what all things he is saying? I wish that a devotee should not look for. First number, what he's saying. What Vitrasur is saying? I that no, I don't want.
Desire to enjoy.
Desire to enjoy is very broad, but over
Yes.
here he is saying what?
Means first is maybe Prabhuji Dhanam means or opulences because Dhruva Loka he has mentioned.
Yeah, I don't
So
want
heavenly
that.
planet.
I don't want Brahma Loka. I don't want to reside in Brahma Loka. Neither Rasatal, neither earthly planet. I don't want any these opulences. No birth, any of
Hmm.
these, for to enjoy these opulences. I do not want to desire even mystic yoga. And the connotation of mystic yoga and this and what you all are saying, what these different residential planets. I don't want that. Means, I don't want basically the words na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim will be always be there here. That a devotee has to be very clear. I do not want liberation. You know, even if I have to give up, if I have to give up your lotus feet, if I have to not, whatever give you, it's fine. But that makes me bereft of your lotus feet, your service to you. I am not interested into it. So, my dear Lord, let Indra kill me, and may I attain your lotus feet, rather than me winning and then enjoying the heavenly planet. I don't want that. What to say about heavenly planet? I don't want Dhruv Loka also. I don't want Satya Loka also. I don't want Rasatal also. I just want, and no mystic yoga. No liberation. I just want your lotus feet. So then Prabhupada starts quoting about another verse he quotes. So there are many quotes, Prabhu, in that. I can't do anything much over here. We have to go in that way. It's very good to understand these quotes. So Prabhupada then next quote, 6th canto, 7th chapter, 23rd number verse. I hope. Sorry, 28 number verse he's quoting. Will yes. Putranam hi paro dharma पित्रे सुश्रणाम सताम अपि पुत्रवतम ब्रह्मन् उता ब्रह्मचारी.
Translation. O Brahmana, the highest duty of a son, even though he has sons of his own, is to serve his parents, and
No.
what to speak of a son who is a brahmachari.
Wait. Sorry, this is so good, but I'm trying to make sure. Yeah. Yes. Here is the main shloka.
Narayana.
Narayana para sarve. Read the translation. Read the translation. Somebody can read it.
Yes, sir. So, translation. Devotees solely engaged in devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, never fear any condition of life. For them, the heavenly planets, liberation, and the hellish planets are all the same. For such devotees, are interested only in the service of the Lord.
So Prabhupada over here very beautifully writes about that how a person becomes Narayana Parayana. Read the purport.
Yes, sir. Purport. Parvati might naturally have inquired how devotees become so exalted. Therefore, these words explain that they are Narayana simply dependent on Narayana. They do not mind reverses in life because in the service of Narayana, they have learned to tolerate whatever hardships there may be. They do not care whether they are in heaven or hell. They simply engage in the service of the Lord. This is their excellence. Anukullena Krishnanushīlanam. CC Madhya 19.167. They are they are liberally engaged in the service of the Lord, and therefore they are excellent by using the word Bhritya Bhrityanam. Lord Shiva pointed out that although Chitraketu provided one example of tolerance and excellence, all the devotees who have taken shelter of the Lord as eternal servants are glorious. They have no eagerness to be happy by being placed in the heavenly planets, becoming liberated, or becoming one with the Brahman, the supreme effulgence. These benefits do not appeal to their minds. They are simply interested in giving direct service to the Lord.
Yeah, so this is how actually a devotee, becomes, exalted. How he becomes, so he first thing what he has to do, that they do not mind reverses in their life, because in the service of Narayan, they have learned to tolerate whatever hardships there may be. Because they have embraced the service of the Lord, whatever hardships comes in that, they don't give up the service. And that is how they learn to not mind the reverses in their life. They do not care. They do not care whether they're in heaven or in hell. They means they are in a good situation or a bad situation. They simply engage in the service of the Lord. This is their excellence. So, and that is how a devotee actually crosses duality. By while being engaged in the service of the Lord, he crosses the duality. And I'm very sure so many of you are all of you are from voice background. All of you might have surely have preached to some degree. And I can tell very clearly that once you preach, a lot of troubles comes in that. Never a preaching on any other seva is ever a easy job. Lot of trouble comes into it. You stick onto it, not looking anything else from that. You just want to serve in the way which has been awarded in terms of preaching or something. And or some of you might have done kitchen service in the voice. And kitchen service, everybody, will glorify you the day you make feast, and the day you make something which they don't like, they will say something to you. That kind of feedback also comes. The cook runs away or something like that happens. But you continue with the service. You learn. You learn through that, that, you know, that reverses in the life, doesn't much matter to you now. Because you are fixed. You have learned to be fixed in the service of the Lord. And then what happens? They are liberally engaged in the service of the Lord, therefore they are excellent. So Lord Shiva says that Chitraketu is one example of tolerance and excellence. You know? Tolerance, whatever hardship comes, a devotee tolerates in the service of the Lord. And he continues the service of the Lord. That is his excellence. You know? So somebody may tolerate, but may give up the service. Okay, I will not speak to him anything. He has spoken harshly, but henceforward I'll not do this service. No, no. You may be tolerant, but you're not excellence. Somebody may be excellence. I will continue the service, but this devotee gave me feedback. I'll eat ka jawab patthar se dunga. Something like that. He has not tolerance also. So a devotee, what he does in his service, he remains tolerant and continues the service of the Lord. And that's how when he learns, he becomes an exalted devotee. He becomes an exalted devotee, where he's been worshipping the Supreme Lord with his heart. In his heart, we can say, slowly and slowly, faith in the Sambandha Jnana and Abhidheya process will be awakened to a very large degree. And with that, he can encash on to develop attachment and attraction to the Lord. So this is how actually, our acharyas are writing it about this. So I'll continue with some more to you, some more, such like that. Now read over here. There's a similar statement by Indra, the king of heaven. Read this 6th canto.
In Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, 18th
Somebody else
chapter,
can
verse
also
7.
read too, because others may be also maybe looking for.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Yeah.
Aditya Varangpo.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, 18th chapter, verse 74. There Indra addresses Mother Diti in this manner. My dear mother, persons who have given up all kinds of desire and are simply engaged in devotional service to the Lord know what is actually their self-interest. Such persons are actually serving their self-interests and are considered first-class experts in the matter of advancing to the perfectional stage of life.
So I just want to clarify over here, which I have already spoken to you, that such persons are actually serving their self-interest and are considered first expert. This doesn't mean that he is selfish. He is Vyavasayatmika Buddhi in terms of service. And serving the Lord is his self-interest. And in that, whatever he tolerates, he's in Prabhupada's purport, what we read right now, he's tolerant and he's excellence. Right now, he tolerates all the troubles and he continues with the service. That is his self-interest. He doesn't gives up the service, or he doesn't, or retaliates back. Whatever is there, he adjusts and goes ahead with the service, because this is called samsara dava. He continues with that. And how he continues with that, somebody may say that kind of a thing, how he can continue with the service. That shloka which I right now said to you, samsara dava, nala leedha loka, pranaya karunya, ghana ghanatvam. The spiritual master's Vani, his example, the Acharya's Vani and an example actually helps him, and his attachment, love towards them, makes him go ahead in his devotional service. With all kinds of, that's the meaning of samsara dava. That is why there's arrangement where we hear from our spiritual masters, and We glorify, we hear the glorifications done to our spiritual masters in Vyasa Puja or some other settings. That which a devotee should be, because then we understand, oh, see, this is how he has done. Okay, I may not be so great, but this is how I have to do. He is great, so his troubles in his life will be also great. And the challenges that will come in his life, that's how he has become great. I have small challenges and I'll cross that. And I have so many devotees to help. I'll take help and go ahead. Next, in the 7th canto, we'll read.
In the 7th canto of the Bhagavatam, 6th chapter, verse 25, Maharaj Prahlad says, "My dear friends born into atheistic families, if you can please the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, then there is nothing more rare in this world. In other words, if the Lord Krishna is pleased with you, then any desire you may have within the core of your heart can be fulfilled without any doubt. As such, what is the use of elevating yourself by the results of fruitive activities, which are automatically achieved in all events by the modes of material nature? And what is the use for you of spiritual and emancipation of or liberation from material bondage? If you are always engaged in chanting the glories of the Supreme Lord and always relishing the nectar of the lotus feet of the Lord, then there is no necessity for any of these."
Yeah, so one thing I'm very clear with it. We should very quickly aspire and long and strive and work hard to get the mercy of the Lord so that we get a taste, some higher taste. And one who has a higher taste, no, it will be easy for him. And we have to strive for it. We have to take help for it and do it. You know, that's what has been said. Else it will be, that's why Prabhupada now he says, now read the highlighted one by this statement.
By this statement of Prahlad Maharaj, it is clearly understood that one who takes pleasure in chanting and hearing and the transcendental glories of the Lord has already surpassed all kinds of material benedictions, including the results of pious fruitive activities, sacrifices, and even liberation from material bondage.
Yeah, yes. So, what does it mean taking pleasure in chanting and hearing? And for him, actually, these are his main source of you know devotional strength, from where he gets the devotional strength. So, chanting and hearing, is, if one is not hearing and chanting properly, he's just chanting casually, somehow completing 16 round, you know, even in late nights is fine. He's not working on it. He's not taking help from some devotee, to improve it. He hardly comes and hears, you know, or he hardly hears his spiritual master classes also. Actually, then it becomes very difficult for him. Actually, he may be rendering service, but his service will be more tinged with his own selfish motive. Such a devotee, when the problem will come, will buckle. Will can't be able to continue in a very pure way that service. So then Prabhupada quotes over here, and that is a very good shloka, 7th canto, 8th chapter, read through.
Similarly, in the same 7th canto, 8th chapter, verse 42, the demigods are offering prayers to Lord Nrsimha, into the King of Heaven says, "O Supreme One, these demons took our share of participation in the performances of ritualistic sacrifices, but simply by your appearance as Lord Nrsimhadev, you have saved us from terrible fears. Actually, our shares in the sacrificial performances are due to you only, because you are the supreme enjoyer of all sacrifices. You are the super soul of every living entity, and therefore you are the actual owner of everything. Long were our hearts always filled with fear of this demon Hiranyakashipu. But you are so kind towards us that by killing him, you have removed that fear from within our hearts and have given us the chance to please your Lordship within our hearts again. For persons who are engaged in the transcendental loving service of your Lordship, all the opulences which were taken away from us by the demons are counted as nothing. Devotees do not care even for liberation. What to speak of these material opulences? Actually, we are not enjoyers of the fruits of sacrifices. Our only duty is to always be engaged in your service, for you are the enjoyer of everything."
Yeah. So Indra, he is offering prayer after the Lord has killed Hiranyakashipu. One by one, all the demigods comes and they are offering to their prayers to the Lord, because of the Lord, because of this Hiranyakashipu, everything was stopped. We were not able to render service to you. Thank you for killing him. Now we'll be able to render service to you. So that is not a very good example. And that's what they're saying, huh? At that last, devotee is not even careful about what to speak of these material options. Actually, we are not the enjoyer of the fruits of the sacrifices. Our only duty is to be engaged in your service, but you are the enjoyer of everything. So you will see that they are mixed devotees. So their service was thwarted. Opulence may be taken away, but why the service to be thwarted? Then okay, no remembrance why to be thwarted? You know, thwarted by these obstacles. Nobody can, no Hiranyakashipu can thwart our remembrance if we have an attachment to the Lord. He can't enter into our mind and stop us from remembering the Lord. He can stop doing sacrifices and stop our sacrifices. Okay. But can he stop our remembrance? Nobody can stop. So the purport of this statement, Indra, proper writes, please read.
Should I continue, Prabhuji?
Yeah, just read one. Yeah.
Okay. The purport of this statement by Indra is that beginning from Brahma down to the insignificant ant, no living entities are meant for enjoying the material opulences. They are simply meant for offering everything to the Supreme Proprietor, the personality of Godhead. By doing so, they automatically enjoy the benefit. The example can be cited again of the different parts of the body collecting foodstuffs and cooking them so that ultimately a meal may be offered to the stomach. After it has gone to the stomach, all the parts of the body equally enjoy the benefit of the meal. So similarly, everyone's duty is to satisfy the Supreme Lord, and then automatically everyone will become satisfied.
Yeah, so that's what has been said. That's what we have to do. And one has to, in all situations, one has to continue serving the Lord. And serving the Lord will eventually make us, satisfied. All what is to be, what is troublesome, that eventually will go. But a devotee looks for service, for remembrance, for hearing and chanting more, so that his remembrance and the quality of his service can made more better and better. That was his focus. His focus is not, you know, his focus is not anywhere else. His focus means this. And he may pray to the Lord. So these all means, not to be looking for liberation. So, and that what means that his Hansus Sambandha and Abhideya Gyan is how much he has understood, how much he has actually uh, imbibed in his life. And that what means is who's what kind of level of a devotee adhikar he has. Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama. For sure, a Kanishta adhikari, some troubles comes. The first thing that he may say, I'll give up devotional life. Typically, you see, when all of you are in voice, so I'm giving you voice examples. We are from voices. So when a first year joins voice, he is getting earlier in his first semester or second semester, he may be getting 9 pointer. He shifts in voice, starts getting, 8 pointer, or 7 pointer, suppose, because of some reason. And immediately he shakes it up. That his face shakes up, right now. And no, he may say, no, 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 because of devotional life, because of that devotee, this morning program and all, I have been suffering. So I gave up that. Yeah, that's a Kanishta, that's a typical yeah, right? Na? So his Shraddha is not so high. So it doesn't mean that one has to get a bad marks, but I'm saying, because I'll give you an example to you make us understand. So he doesn't understand that, it's my karma, I have to do my part well. But if I stop serving the Lord, then what will happen? You know, that means, if I stop serving the Lord means what? I know my hands and legs are trying to eat the food and thinking by eating the food, by eating the food, I will get strength. That will never happen. So a devotee, boy may feel that, by doing all, setting right all those things, I'll be happy. I'll get marks, I'll be happy, I'll get placement, I'll be happy, and all those happy. Oh, that is equally like, hand and legs getting the food and trying to enjoy without giving it to stomach. That's not ever going to happen. Eventually, everything will fall apart. So that's what has been Prabhupada is trying to make us understand. In all situation, one has to continue his service. Take help, go ahead. And then Prabhupada quotes this Gajendra's example. There are many examples for it. Please read one another devotee can read it now. Just I'm saying to you, in the next week we will talk more about it. Also from different books, from different Shuddha Book Chintamani. Also, I'll speak something. Right, not right now. I want to complete this. Yeah, read it. Another devotee.
Aman Kumar bro.
Yes, Pradeep. A similar verse is found in 8th canto, the chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, verse 20. Gajendra says there, My dear Lord, I have no experience of the transcendental bliss derived from your devotional service. So therefore, I have asked from you some favor. But I know that persons who are pure devotees and have, by serving the lotus feet of great souls, become freed from all material desires, are always merged in the ocean of transcendental bliss, and, as such, are always satisfied by simply glorifying your auspicious characteristics. For them, there is nothing else to aspire to or pray for.
Yeah, Gajendra is saying this. So, no, uh, there are many, such kind of thing where he has been said that one, he is saying that, but I know the person who are pure devotees and have, by serving the lotus feet of great souls, becomes free from material desires and are always immersed in the ocean of transcendental bliss. So we see it, we saw it, and we can, when we read about Prabhupada's lifetime, his biography, and the books which are written in the glorification of Prabhupada by his Prabhupada disciples. You can imagine, what they were, you know, they were Western people, but they came and stayed in Juhu, such a horrible place in that time. Uh, but they lived it. And they, and it's not that that time, if you have read that book, I'll build you a temple. Then in that book, it is very Maharaj, very graphically right. There was physical fight amongst devotees also. Once or twice it is written over there. Um, Situation is not so good. Materially means, facility is not good. Prasadam was not so high quality. There was so much troubles by outsiders. There was so much trouble for us, which were created by even some inside people. But devotees were going on. Why? Because they want to serve the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, to get a smile on his face. That made them, those who could, those who were, were able to do it, you know, they are freed from, and they become great souls. So, and that is why they nothing pray for. They just pray for one thing, that my dear Lord, may I continue your service. That kind of a thing is actually is tells about, that's what makes us, go beyond our limitations uh, of being a conditioned soul. All of us are conditioned soul, at least to me, I am. And that what helps us. Just a side point I'm saying to you, but maybe a helpful point. If you have a devotee in your life who is much more advanced than you, and whenever something comes, challenging comes in your life, you think about that devotee, how he will feel if I act in this way, or how will he feel if I act in this way. If I make this choice, this will displease that devotee. If I make this choice, this will please that devotee. If you have such a devotee in your life, I can say to you, by Krishna's grace, uh, you are very lucky. Uh, that's luck. That's a good luck in Krishna consciousness. Because it will make the life very easy. It makes the life very easy. That is why in Bhakti, with rationality, some softness, no, softness of heart is also has been much, been spoken. Some softness should be there towards some devotee. Surely he should be senior and means advanced devotee than us, much more advanced than us. It becomes very easy. But if you have only rationality, no softness, no devotion, then it will be problematic. So then there are many quotes, bro. This is Aloke Sarupe Sarishti. I'll not show you that we have talked about. There's a good verse which I'll show you. Nagpatnis which they pray. 10th 10th canto, 16th chapter, 37 number verse. And then we'll have some questions if you have 10, 17, 37. What happened? 10, 16, 37. Sorry. So this is there's a similar verse. Now what Vitrasur has spoken. Uh, similarly it begins with, but this has been spoken by Nagpatnis, and they're saying over here. You can recite with me. न नाकपृष्ठं न च सर्वभौमं नापारमेष्ठ्यं न रसाधिपत्यं न योगसिद्धिरपुनर्भवं वा वाञ्छन्ति यत्पादरजः प्रपन्नः. Similar verse right now to Vritrasur prayers. This is offered by the Nagpatnis. Translation read.
Yeah, continue, Prabhu. Okay, I'll read Prabhu. Those who have attained the dust of your lotus feet never hanker for the kingship of heaven, limitless sovereignty on earth, the position of Brahma, or rulership over the lower planetary systems. They are not interested even in the perfections of yoga or in liberation itself.
Yeah. So they are not interested in any of these things. That's the meaning of Vyavasayatmaka Buddhi. But although we are, talking about, we are reading this, but I just want to make you one thing to be, to be very sure. Don't don't apply it on somebody else. See, he's looking for some, dhanam. He's looking for janam. No. Apply these verses for your own self and see how much we are qualified, right? Na? That will not help us, to call, set this definition and see others' advancement. It will help us if we set that definitions in our life and see how much we are advanced and try to make it set right. Else, we may do Vaishnav Ninda, and may whatever we may have, we may go down in devotional life. जो है वो भी बैंक करप्ट हो गए डिवोशन से और चले गए हम और जिसका निंदा किया वो शायद आगे बढ़ गया. That will not help us. What will help us is that if we reflect in our life, and because these are very clear verses which is talking about, which every sadhaka has to think about his own life. Because bhakti, that's why, I very well remember a very good line which is spoken by one of our devotees. Bhakti is a serious fun. It's a fun for sure because there are a lot of challenges. It's a serious fun. No, so one has to embrace that serious fun in his life. If you have any questions, you can ask Ru. Yeah. Anybody has any questions, any comments you want to say? We are all welcome.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Yeah, yes, Ru.
Guruji, I have one question regarding starting point. You in starting you told na, that there are two types of different people. One is adhikari, madhyam adhikari, kanishta adhikari, and uttam adhikari. And another people you told that uttam bhakta, madhyam bhakta, and kanishta bhakta. And you give an example also regarding some person have crores of rupees currently, but he have a thought of millions of dollars.
He may be
You can consider
eligible
him as
for
a adhikari.
in your business, but he might not be right now millionaire. Yeah.
Yeah, so you told that he will be considered as a adhikari.
Yeah, he's adhikari.
And
Yes.
so then, exact what is the difference between adhikari and bhakta? Not
So
clear to me.
adhikari means he is eligible. He's eligible for it. But whether he has reached to that level or not, see eligibility, like एक बच्चा है जिसने 12th में बहुत अच्छे से मैथ्स पढ़ाई किया, he is eligible to go to crack JEE, but he might not have cracked JEE, kind of a thing. You
Then
understand?
if he is cracked, matlab he is bhakta. If he is not cracked, then he is
Yeah,
adhikari.
yeah. If he's
Then
cracked,
in that case, everyone is adhikari only, na? Because nobody consider himself that I am the
he
bhakta.
may not, nobody considers, but our acharya shows that that's how we have to understand. that they are devotees. Yes, every devotee becomes humble, but we very clearly understand, like our great acharyas are there in our movement right now. They will never say that I am advanced, but don't we understand that? Right?
Thank you.
Anything more? As we end over here, bro. Okay.
One more question, Pooji. In the last point, you told one point na, that devotee will continue his services, whatever the problems will become. You give the example of Sansar Dava Loka. Matlab, this material world is like that only, ups and down will become.
Hmm.
But devotee will always continue his services,
Hmm.
whatever the situation. And in the last, you told that this principle, whatever we are learning, we have to be apply for our own self, not for the others.
Hmm.
So, for example, in some situation, we are in some need or some manager situation. Then, in that case, how to see the situation? Because if we see everyone as a humble, then we cannot able to run the things properly or manage the thing properly. Then, in that situation, how to see the things?
No, you have to, when I'm saying that, whatever is needful, you might have to do it. And but we have to also look in our own heart. See, our own devotional life should not be disturbed. Right? That's where my main focus is. Not that we become so disturbed that she's saying that, Arey, what is this? It's so much troublesome. I'll give up this seva. That is not so. Yeah, okay. Some may be able to give up that seva. He may not be able to handle also. That's a different thing. But when we say that somebody has a lot of faith, he won't give it up. He may ask the devotee who is superior to him, may do the needful what is required, but his own devotional life goes away. No, no, goes on, not away. Goes on. He goes on with his devotional life, right? No? He is not favored in that. His faith in chanting and hearing and all doesn't goes away. The rest is whatever is needful, you have to do it, you have to do it. And you have to ask, you are a manager. If you are in a managerial position, that's a different thing. You may be in the, you may be in your center, you may be as a manager position. You have to do it, but you have to, but don't ridicule a devotee. He may be showing some symptoms of a lower nature. It doesn't mean that you feel ridicule, it's going to help you or help him. Do what is needful, don't ridicule. Do as what is required, and go ahead. Don't talk about it so much here, there. Right. Not that we start talking to other devotees in the voice, "Hey, to aisa hai, aisa hai." No need. You do what is needful and go ahead.
If you don't mind, can I ask one more question?
I don't know if somebody else also has. If I don't know. If somebody has, Prabhu,
Mm,
already 8:15 is there. I don't know. I
yeah.
have
So,
answer.
so,
Ah,
Hare
yeah.
Krishna.
Ah, yes, Prabhu.
So it's just like the, from today's class, so many of the things were clear. But you had mentioned one of the class of Radhesham Pro. So any specific class you had mentioned, or in
Ah,
general you had
hearing,
just
how to hear, quality of hearing. Yeah, yeah. There's
called
a,
it? Okay.
that is a means, because we are talking about na hearing, because very often a question comes, अरे हम इतना सुन रहे हैं लेकिन कुछ हो नहीं रहा है। वो सुन रहे हैं,
Hmm.
लेकिन कैसा सुन रहे हैं, क्या सुन रहे हैं, किससे सुन रहे हैं, क्या करते हैं सुनने के बाद, मैटर्स।
Hmm.
That class is there. I don't remember the exact title name.
Hmm. Okay. Okay, I will search for myself. Thank you.
Anil bro, I don't know. Its time is up. Shantanu bro has to allow. Then I have no issues, but I don't know about it. Where is Shantanu bro? He himself has left, I feel so. Ah, yeah, bro. Then let us better. Tomorrow, next week, you ask. That will be very good. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.